annual Automation Fair.
Expanding human possibility, expanding human imagination on the back of digital transformation. Now, let's start at the beginning.
Rockwell Automation is closest to the source of enormously valuable data that comes from industrial applications.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this live Rock Studios broadcast. My name is Keith Larson, editor-in-chief of Control Magazine and ControlGlobal.com. There's one thing that I've learned in documenting the move towards Industry 4.0 and the increasingly digitalized and interconnected industrial systems it describes. It's that digital transformation is nothing if not an ecosystem game. No one technology provider has all the products or the expertise that you need to be successful. But smart companies like Rockwell Automation are trying to make it an easier job of pulling together all those necessary pieces by collaborating with a range of key technology providers. Those partnerships are currently in full display in an on-demand playlist of the best partner content from Rockwell Automation's virtual conference, Automation Fair at Home. Suitably called Duets, these presentations highlight how you can get the most from Rockwell Automation together with its partners in technology arenas ranging from cybersecurity to digital integration. If you've got more questions as we dig into this topic today, just visit the URL shown in the video frame or visit the automationfair.com homepage, where you'll find links to the Duets playlist, as well as 5 other carefully curated playlists on topics from digital strategy to what's next in tech to promoting diversity and inclusivity in the workplace. But joining me today to talk about Rockwell's approach to partnerships and how they benefit both industrial end users and machine builders are Carol Shoemate, Director of Global Partnerships, and Ann Barenbroek, Technology Partner Manager, both with Rockwell Automation. Welcome, Carol and Ann. Thanks so much for taking the time to join me today.
Thanks for having us.
Let me just start off maybe with a general question around the partnership programs with Rockwell Automation. There's a number of different programs, from strategic level cooperations with the likes of PTC and Microsoft to more technology or product specific reference programs. Can you explain a little bit about what Rockwell looks for in those various collaborations and how they benefit your customers?
Absolutely. Partnering has been a long sought mission for Rockwell. It's not new to what's important to us, and it's certainly not new to how we do business. We understand that all customer challenges are unique, and ultimately we're trying to help our customers in a way that makes the most sense to them. So this means being able to have a variety of partners in that ecosystem, in our partner network, to be able to look at those challenges from different angles. Angles like what kind of expertise are needed to be able to solve this problem? What kind of scale and magnitude is the project at hand? Are we after a specific goal like security or virtual design, aging infrastructure? Are we just trying to get to market faster with what we have? There's so much to think about, and the value of a vast and diverse ecosystem really allows us to take a look at those challenges uniquely with our customers and be able to get out the best of the best to help solve those challenges.
Yeah, and I think to add to what Carol is saying, there is so many pieces to that conversation. And so a lot of what we're hearing from our customers is, I don't know where to start. And I think that's where Rockwell comes into play. We try to be that connector and that glue to bring these different partners from our ecosystem together to address what the customer is looking at. The customer benefits because they get the best of what Rockwell does and the best of what these technology partners do. So you're leading your foot with these market leading technology vendors, but we're helping take that guesswork out of that discussion. So back to your question, Keith, about what are we looking for with our partner ecosystem? it's a lot of what Carol was describing, which is what is the customer trying to accomplish? And then who are the companies we can work with to accomplish that? And I think that's more important now than ever as the pace of innovation is exponentially growing. And so that conversation of who we can and should be working with will look very different based on the customer challenge.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It really does. Obviously, there's the big strategic partnerships, but there's also within the technology partner program, it tends to be more of a specific focus around products and technologies as opposed to a particular company and that provides them. What parameters and insurances are in place so that users know that the technology partner products will plug and play with their Rockwell solutions?
So I think you can take a look at this a couple different ways. It's actually a really great opportunity for us to highlight some of the refreshed areas when we focus on technology partners. So if you take a look at the history of our technology partners, which was once known as our Encompass program, technology has always been the center of those partnerships. It's the foundation of how we work together. It's the core to the value that gets created for our customers and the extended pieces of our ecosystem, like the system integrators and the OEMs. And you heard from our leadership team at Automation Fair the importance of the role that our partners play in creating those comprehensive solutions for our customers. And so that will continue to be a key piece in how we bring value through the technology partnering program. The environment we're working in is an ever-changing, very dynamic environment, even more so now than ever. We're all finding new ways to reinvent ourselves, reinvent our businesses, reinvent how we do business together. And we realize that companies are more multifaceted beyond just the technology. And we want to be able to kind of capture that extended value by not only addressing the technology, but also be able to address the way that they do business and where they do business. So it really is a comprehensive approach beyond the technology, although the technology will always be our core. It will always be our ability to extend customer value through a shortened integration time, through an ability to plug and play or be able to hit the easy button when we work with our partners or on behalf of our customers.
Yeah, I thought one of the really interesting aspects to this past Automation Fair was discussions around supply chain and how you're helping your customers do that, which we really didn't talk about 2 years ago, but obviously with the COVID pandemic, that became a very, very important topic for many companies. So it's interesting to see you be able to bring partners to bear to talk about that with your customers as well.
Absolutely.
So,
And to connect what Carol was saying about looking at this holistically, I think there's still this common thread of a mission, and that's we want to make the experience for the customer as easy as possible. And so, Keith, to your question on how we do that, to take one step deeper, we similar to our previous conversation about working with all these different partners for different needs, we also have different levels of how we work together. So with some partners, it's that understanding of how our technology works together and making sure they're complementary solutions for the customer. And there's, along that spectrum where there's tools and resources where we're taking those products that connect and we're adding enhanced integration tools on top of that. That's an even, a better level of integration and streamlined experience for the customer. And then you can go all the way to these experiences we're having with some partners where we're doing very intensive testing and validation on products or solution architectures, all the way to co-developed products and solutions. Sometimes that's embedding partner technology in our technology. Sometimes that's a jointly co-developed and co-innovated solution. So there's this scalable approach in how we're working with partners and creating this integration for our customers. But again, our mission, regardless of where we're at in that spectrum, really is to make things as streamlined and easy for our customers as possible, while still giving them the best of what we do with the best of what our partners do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Can you talk maybe a little bit about some of the themes that really are evident in the playlist for those of us or those of our viewers that will visit that later? What sorts of topics are covered within the range of playlists? Obviously, there's a number of different companies represented, as well as co-presentations with Rockwell folks as well. Some sense of the areas where the playlist is focused.
Sure. So I love this idea of the Duets playlist. When I think of Duets, I think of like this giant ballad. And when I think about what we can accomplish with our partners, it kind of feels like that. It's kind of this like, grand, bigger than life kind of like thought process and feeling. So some of the themes that you'll see in the 13 duets that are part of the playlist is certainly workforce development, and being able to enhance how we work together, where we work together. There's augmented reality as part of that. There's a lot of really cool, and you mentioned this earlier about kind of pushing the edges of new technology and being able to continue to kind of get into new space or white space that manufacturing hasn't really played in or with much in the past. And so we start to open up a lot of those conversations with our partners, through our partners. We're also talking a lot in the digital space, so through digital thread, as well as being able to take a different look at how we're designing and operating our systems, how information ends up communicating across the enterprise, and then ultimately being analyzed and being built for decision making. So you'll see that as another trend. And then the last piece that you'll see is just the continued evolution of communications and infrastructure for the plant floor as OT and IT continues to emerge or converge, I should say. And so you'll see some work in new prototypes such as like SPE. We've got Wi-Fi 6. We talk a little bit about security. So I think there's a lot of topics for just about anybody who might be interested in, what's new in manufacturing and how might it apply to them in their business.
That certainly seems like a very efficient way to stay on top of how quickly these technologies are moving. Rockwell doesn't have to have all of that in-house when they've got trusted partners that they can really collaborate with to advance the entire solution. Makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
All right, well, thanks so much, Carol and Andrew. I really appreciate your taking the time to share your insights with us today. Thanks to all our viewers at home, at work, or wherever you may be. Once again, if you're ready for a deeper dive into how partner network products and technologies work together with Rockwell Automation Solutions, you can visit the Duets playlist at the URL listed in the video frame, or go to the homepage at automationfair.com and you'll find links to all of the playlists, the 6 different playlists of Automation Fair content that Rockwell Automation has curated on your behalf. Again, this is Keith Larson, editor of Control Magazine and ControlGlobal.com, signing off for now. Until next time, take care and stay safe. And thank you both, Ann and Carol. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Keith, and thanks everyone else for joining.